So one of the things we come across here at 10 Capital, people confused because they've been doing the right thing, but they're just not making progress toward their goals, or they wake up one day somewhere other than where they hope to be. This week, we discuss how it happens and how you can fix it. So this week, we wanted to tackle from a different angle one of our favorite topics here at 10 Capital, which is helping you achieve your ultimate goals, your ultimate objectives, and some of the different impediments that exist to that. And then share a podcast. We'll quite literally share it in the summary section up above in this week's commentary in case you want to check it out. From an ex-Navy SEAL around the different ways to, again, think through this that might click with you and help you better approach the financial decisions that come up in all of our day-to-day lives. So we're going to start with this simple sentence that is so complex to unpack in our day-to-day lives. I feel like we did the right thing. Sentence, some semblance of it that we hear quite frequently. Seems like a rational thing. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. And yet, this sentence, this thought is something that we see time and time again, keeping people from their objectives, throwing a wrench in, delaying things. And the reason for it is a couple. One, the word feel. There's nothing wrong with your feelings. We certainly care and spend a lot of time getting to know your feelings. It's a real tough thing to put into, though, certainly dealing with markets, but also successfully prioritizing and then executing a larger strategic vision. Because in the moment, something can feel so right that, again, doesn't map to your larger purpose. A couple quick examples. We'll see people who will pay for all their kids' college not knowing how much that's delaying their long-term retirement, or taking a lot of great family trips, making some good memories, not realizing the impact it's going to have on paying for college. There's, of course, an endless array of these different examples, all of which in and of themselves are right things, great intentions. They feel good in that moment, but again, maybe keeping people from their highest, best priority. Not that they're mutually exclusive, but again, finding that balance, finding your balance is so, so critical. So I was listening to a podcast this week, Jocko Willink, ex-Navy SEAL, we'll put a link in the summary section, and he was talking about this, the priority and execute hamster wheel. And what he was talking about, how even amongst successful people, and most of the people we work with are successful, smart people, they've learned to prioritize and execute. But how that can be very tactical. It can be very short-term focused. He used the analogy of being in a room. A guy with the gun, guy with the knife, open door, civilian. Well, the first thing you got to do is take care of the guy with the gun. And that's his role, that's his mission, that's that one moment in time. But again, his larger strategic vision may be moving his guys north. And if he sits in that room, in that house, dealing with the same situation endlessly, or isn't thoughtful around his next move, he can get stuck again on that hamster wheel without making progress. He sees this with business leaders. We see it quite frequently with clients. They're not doing anything wrong in and of itself, and yet they're not taking the actions necessary to not only prioritize in a small moment, but again, in a longer term perspective. We also talked about the role of a third party. So as you're going through these strategic type sides, the role of a third party in helping you get off of what can become this hamster wheel, leading you into a very reactionary place by engaging a third party. You're in this room, to use Jocko's example, but your longer thing is moving north. Well, what's next? What's going on around you? You're in that building, you're in that moment in time where you're trying to make that decision. Do you have that third party that can remind you of your longer term objective, that can help you see how those actions that you're taking in that singular moment are playing out with other things that are going on around you? For him, he again analogized to calling up to a helicopter that might be above the building, letting him know what else is going on around the building. Once he's able to even successfully prioritize and execute within the building, what's going to greet him on the other side of that building, and how somebody else can help you. brought up countless times in the past, no matter how great you are at any of this, the role that a third party can have. I've half joked, Tiger Woods has got a swing coach. He's pretty good at swinging a golf club. Tom Brady's got a throwing coach, true story. He's pretty good at throwing a football. Again, because of that perspective, not because of the ability to necessarily execute on a singular thing, but make sure you're doing it within that strategic vision and the role that a third party can have. With that, we're going to wrap it up, but think through this. What are those long-term priorities? Have you gone through them ever? Have you come back to? Do you know how you relate to money? It has a huge role on our feelings. Do you understand what type of mindset you bring to making financial decisions? For a lot of you out there, you're very caring people. It feels right to help other people. It feels right to help your kids with college, but you also have goals for yourself, goals for your larger family that you need to be mindful of. It's those types of things, wrestling with them both up front and on an ongoing basis, that we're honored to get to do with so many of you. Whether it's been a while, or you've never done it, or you know somebody who could use it, we're here for you anytime. Thanks so much.